What's up, y'all? Welcome to Perfectly Poured. I'm Brittany, your host, and of course, this is a space where we get real about life, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're pushing through the tough stuff, chasing your dreams, or just trying to keep your cup full, I'm here with some honest talk and good vibes to help you along the way. So let's pour into the journey together, one step at a time. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am your host, Brittany, and welcome back to Perfectly Poured. I'm so glad that you're back because today we're going to do something a little different. The Cozy Cast. I want this episode to feel like we're just two friends catching up on a calm day with a warm drink in hand. So grab something cozy, get comfortable, and let's get in this. Today I got some peppermint tea going. I did a quick little vlog earlier. Something new for me, but I just kind of wanted to get into the topic of being still and what that looks like. I feel like God has definitely been telling me to be still. I know He's God because the scripture says be still and know I'm God. But He's been telling me to be still, and I feel like I've been being busy. The complete opposite. Life can get pretty hectic, especially as we're juggling all of our responsibilities. And for me personally, you guys know I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I take care of my family, and I'm also trying to find my footing in being a full-time entrepreneur. So, trying to keep up with everything sometimes causes us to lose sight of the bigger picture, and that's something that I don't want to do. And for me, I know God has been telling me to be still so I can get clear direction on what's next. So, and then also on how to show up better in my family and in my personal duties. So today I want us to take a step back and we're going to reflect on the importance of rest, renewal, finding peace, even in our busiest moments. I am not a busy bee. I keep telling people whenever they're like, oh, what you got going on? I'm like, well, nothing, just being a busy bee. Girl, stop. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I have never craved a nap more than anything else. Chill. I just want to be present. I want to be still. I don't want to overwork myself, especially when it comes to entertaining our gifts and handling, like our duties, like I just mentioned. I don't want to create unnecessary burnout. I don't want to create burnout at all, period. That's not for me. That's not the lifestyle I'm trying to live. I'm trying to live a nice, soft life. But for me to do that, I have to follow instructions and be obedient so I don't miss that mark. So today I'm not going to come to you as a coach. I'm not going to come to you as an expert, but as a friend who's on this journey, just like you. In the spirit of slowing down, I want to share a few things that has been helping me lately with being able to be still. I want to take a sip of this tea so bad, but y'all, it's hot. It's hot. Okay, all right. So we're gonna talk about what it means to embrace rest. Not just physical rest, but resting in God's peace and allowing ourselves to pause. So let me tell you guys about a recent experience where I felt like this was really necessary. I think after I shared with my 30th birthday, and of course going to Texas recently for my brother-in-law's birthday, I feel like with those two trips, that's the most I've traveled in years, by the way. But I haven't been able to record a episode on schedule like I wanted to. And then, of course, like picking up new tasks and responsibilities and new projects and stuff like that, too. I felt like I was constantly on the go and I wasn't having peace. I kept seeing something where it was talking about fasting and getting into your prayer. getting into your work, taking a moment for yourself. I literally have the blessing of having my own schedule. There is no reason why. I was desiring and craving a still mind when I already have, well, not a still mind, but a sound mind when I already have that. Why was I desiring something I already have? You see what I'm saying? Because I was moving so much and not being present, I wasn't allowing myself to feel the need to calm down. Because on these 2 trips, I was overthinking a lot on how I was showing up. Again, not being still to enjoy the moment. Right? I was robbing myself of actually enjoying, you know? I also realized that busy culture kind of created the need to have a false sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Nonetheless, I found myself drinking wine and alcohol more than I usually do. And I was like, that's for what? I'm trying to use that to silence distractions and this I felt like I was so anxious for nothing. I'm not doing so much. I'm not doing too much. I'm not doing a lot. I just felt like a false sense of inadequacy. And I don't know where it stemmed from, but it stemmed from me not having a second to slow down, stop, take in the moment, and actually realize what was going on around me. Because I kept I was always on go mode. So I realized I needed to chill out because I wasn't feeling the peace that God had given me. And I wasn't feeling like I was myself either. So, of course, being in prayer is such a beautiful thing. When I get upset, I go to God first. I pray. And for other people who may not know what that look like, that's pretty much me taking a minute to stop, think, and reflect. And I go to God with it. And the moment I started praying and actually allowing my mind to process what was going on, I was able to sit in stillness so I could realize where my mind was going and how it was so unnecessary and how much I cannot do this by myself. you know? Um, Sometimes stepping back and taking a breath can really be the most powerful thing. And prayer, I think, is the most powerful thing. So praying, I brought up fasting because I've decided that even with doing a 3-day fast or a partial day fast or whatever that looks like, me allowing to cut off, because I'm not drinking, me allowing myself to cut off the need to have a substance allows that to stop becoming an addiction, and it allows that to stop becoming an enabler or a crutch or a codependency. Like, I don't need that. What I need is to silence the noises that are around me and stop having imposter syndrome because I'm actually doing an incredible amount of work. I think that if I focus more on the being still and allowing God to prune me and allowing myself to, enjoy my healing journey, I really can live in the peace that's already offered to me. You know what I mean? Like, I am immensely blessed, and I see that more now that I'm able to silence that noise. Now that I'm able to have good counsel, to pray, to fast and realize things and not overthink. We have to be careful on the thoughts that run in our minds, because if they are not good and they are not true and they are fruitless, it doesn't need to be there in your mind. Curb that thought with a different one. Whenever I hear arrest thoughts that don't belong to you and bring them to Christ, I think of curbing that thought. You take that thought and you say, you know what? That's not even for real right now. And address it with truth, because you have the authority to do so. Okay, so I want to share some tips for embracing rest and finding peace. One of them, number one, there's going to be 3 tips, by the way, y'all. Number 1, intentional quiet time, such as this. Find a day, every single day, even if it's like 5 minutes, and be still and just breathe. If you're at work, if it's in the morning when you wake up, if it's like during your lunch break, if it's whenever in your daytime, even if it's before you go to bed, find at least 5 minutes to just breathe. For me, like I said earlier, it's that time to just, my camera keeps wanting to go out of focus. For me, it's when I choose to take, I try to take between 5 to 10 minutes to just be still, pray. And when I wake up, instead of scrolling on social media, devotional, read a scripture, be silent for just for 5 minutes. That could look like having nothing going on and just like embodying this moment, like I am here with you. So try that. Just be still. Just let go of your to-do list. Let go of what you got going on. Because if you don't, you'll miss the mark, and I don't want you to miss the mark. And that's one thing that I've been shown. It's like, be still. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be, you're not a machine. Just be still. Number 2, letting go of perfection and imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is where you are actually showing up and you're making an impact, but some way, somehow, you feel like you're not making any impact, or you feel like you don't fit the identity nor the criteria. I felt like I wasn't showing up as a good wife, or as a good mother, or as a good daughter, or a daughter-in-law, or a good sister, or a sister-in-law, or a good friend, or a granddaughter. I felt like many of the titles in which I am honored with and have been complimented on, I felt like I wasn't showing up well for those. And the devil is a liar, because I am showing up wonderfully. I'm very supportive. I'm a great listener. I give good advice, problem solve. But one thing I need to do is not overextend. If I can't do something, I can't do it. Simple as that. Let go of perfection. Even when showing up with this podcast and me being so worried about reaching a lot of ears or having a larger audience, it'll come. As long as I'm doing my work to advance the kingdom and give you guys this constant invitation to get to know the Lord, and honestly, to get to know me too. Like, I'm being authentic in my truth. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But as long as I'm trying to do better and be better, that's okay. There's grace in knowing that we're doing our best. You know, sometimes good enough is enough. Let that sink in, you know? Number 3, the biggest thing is setting boundaries. Funny, my husband and I were watching Abbott Elementary, and in this episode, Dad Fight, in season 4, Janine has a hard time asking Barbara for her $5 back, and her best friend Jacob is like, why don't you just ask for it back? She's like, it's just the principle. Like, this girl is going above and beyond to not ask. So Jacob, in the end, Jacob ends up handing her the $5 so she could stop over obsessing over it. And then Barbara turns around because she lost the bet, or, you know, she lost money, she ran out of money. She turns around and asks Janine for the money, and Janine gives it to her because she's like, it's Barbara. Like, why not? I love her. Of course I'm gonna give it to her. And so Jacob goes, Janine, you need to learn boundaries. And y'all, you know what I heard? Brittany, you need to learn boundaries. The Lord has been working on me. Boundaries has been the biggest theme this year for me. Putting things in its place where it needs to be. Rules. If it does not make me feel good, And it's something that goes against my morale. And it's something that I feel deeply uncomfortable with. It's worth talking about. It's worth setting clear, like, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to entertain this because it doesn't make me feel good. Even if it's the way that somebody jokes or talks to you, you have every right to determine your face value. You have every right to determine what can and cannot slide. And that's something that God has been showing me. Like, stop being a people pleaser, girl. And I'm saying that I am an ex people pleaser because I used to just let things just slide. And I realized how horrible that was for me. I realized how horrible that was for the environment I also had around me because I sat in discomfort and wasn't enjoying anything, you know? So set boundaries. Whether it's turning off my phone, because I have to set boundaries for myself, especially when it comes to social media, because I don't know if I don't know if y'all face the same things, but sometimes I feel like I waste so much time, hours even, on social media, and it's not helping me. And that time I can't get back. So I have to set boundaries with myself with that. I have to set boundaries with telling people no. Like if it's extra commitments, setting boundaries helps you protect your peace. Setting boundaries is good for me and for you. No is a full sentence. I literally talked about that in my last episode with Herbie, because it's true. Cultivate a better life for yourself. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking about that too. Like, I want a softer lifestyle. And guess what? I can create it by doing these steps and being intentional about it. Alright, so maybe for you, it's something else. But the important thing is to find what makes you feel grounded and nourished. So, I hope that helps y'all. Because my camera, y'all, sorry if this is hard on the eyes. I had to turn that face tracking off. But, yeah, y'all. Those are just some tips and whatnot. I love rainy days because it allows me to self-reflect like this. And I'm very grateful for it. So I also want to bring a little faith in today because I truly believe that finding peace often means leaning on something greater than ourselves. There's a verse that comes to mind, and it says, "Come to me, all who are weary, and burdened, and I will give you rest." It's a reminder. It is a reminder that we don't have to do everything by ourselves. We don't have to carry this life alone. God is with us. He's always offering us a kind of rest that goes beyond the physical. It's a rest for our soul, a rest for your spirit. How beautiful is that? How beautiful to know that we have a rest offered to us that reaches our souls. That's the kind of peace that I'm praying over each of us today. So as you go about your week, I want to encourage you to give yourself permission to rest. Be still. Take those small steps, whatever they look like for you, and remember that it's okay to slow down. Embrace the peace that's waiting for you, that's offered to you right where you are. And watch your life turn around. I want us to practice that actually for the rest of this month. I'm actually going to give y'all 21 days because y'all know it creates a habit. But I want you guys to practice giving yourself rest for 21 days, even if it's small, and watch our lives turn around. All right, so I want you guys to just enjoy your moments of peace. And as you go about the rest of your week, I encourage you to give yourself permission to rest. Take those small steps, whatever they look like for you. Remember that it's okay to slow down. Embrace the peace that's waiting for you right where you are. And I thank y'all for sharing this cozy moment with me and my candle in my little cozy room. Because, this was cute. Cute little cozy cats. And I hope it brought a little calm to your day. Because it brought some to mine. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. I'm here with you. And so is the Lord. Until next time, stay warm, stay peaceful, and keep pouring into what matters.